If you don't know what you're doing when it comes to selecting your Facebook ad audience, it can result in you just burning money. Now, depending on what type of business you run, there's a lot of different ways to select the best Facebook ad audience. And in this video, I want to show you how you can do some research to find what types of audiences you should be targeting on Facebook and exactly how to target those different types of audiences. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you my exact process to find profitable Facebook ad audiences that you can use and steal from me having spent over $10 million on Facebook ads. This process works and you can easily apply it to your business. Okay, so here we are in my Facebook ad account. Now the numbers and everything here aren't important. The first place that we're going to start to do that audience research actually isn't in the ad account. However, that's one of the best ways is honestly just getting right into it, creating your campaign, and searching for different interests and narrowing down in the actual ad campaign itself. But that's not the first place that we're going to start right here. So we're going to go to all tools right here, and then we're going to come over and scroll down to audience insights right here. So if we click on audience insights, this is where we're going to get some insights into our Facebook and Instagram page, who's currently following us and what are their interests, what is their typical age range, everything like that. And then as well as our potential audience, which is the most important part where we can find people interested in exactly what we want to see exactly who we can target and what we should target. All right, cool. So now I have my audience insights turned on, and you can see here I have 205 Facebook followers, 275 Instagram followers for my Jet Ads account. Now it's obviously not a lot. We don't really post there a lot, but we can get a little bit of an idea of where our existing audience is based and what cities they're based in, what country, and some other metrics here as well. So it's not going to give you a ton, but it does give you the age and gender, which could be important for your audience, just to understand that a little bit more. The top cities, and if you have a lot of followers, that might be a good place to kind of start, just to get an idea of where you should be targeting or where your audience kind of exists. But the main thing here is this potential audience section. So this is a good place to start to kind of narrow this down to get an idea using filters who you should be targeting. So if I go over to here, the estimated audience size right here, people on Facebook and Instagram in Canada, and 2 other filters. So if I open these up right here, you can see this is, there's no currently any filters on right here. This is just in Canada, the potential people that you can target, right? And these are the top pages that people follow in Canada. And so the first thing that we're going to do is get you to narrow this down to the locations that you're actually wanting to target. So let's say you are a golf pro and you do private lessons with people in the Florida area, then you could kind of just narrow this down, right, to the location that you want to target. So Florida right here. For gender, maybe we want to just do men. So men 18, maybe, you kind of know your range here is maybe 25 to, and yeah, anywhere from 65 plus right there. So you can kind of already see we're at 6.8 to 8.1 million people. And then we can narrow this down further by interest right here. So you can see if you search golf, it's going to give you a ton of different interests right here. So we can go first of all, just golf sport, and that'll kind of narrow that down right here. And then we can see some of the top pages that people follow as well. And then some of additional interests that we can use here. So if we go back to golf right here, what we're going to do is go ahead and search for, maybe we want to do like lessons. Let's go golf ball, maybe add that in there as well. And then we could also do, golf course here as well, and add those in. And then you kind of get an idea here of some of those interests there. And then you can actually advertise to this audience if you wanted to. So that's kind of the first way, narrowing down with your potential audience in your audience insights and just getting a first basis idea of who your audience is. Okay, we're back in the ad account, and this is the primary way that you're going to be finding audiences, right? I'd say to use that first method just to give you a little bit of a baseline to understand your audience a little bit more, play around with those filters and features, and figure out what your potential audience size is and some different interests that you can actually plug in there. Now from here, what we're going to do is actually go ahead and create our campaign. So let's say you want to do a sales campaign. Let's just do a manual sales campaign. Awesome. And then let's just name this audience test right here. Okay, the budgets and stuff really don't matter. So we're gonna go down to this level right here, do website. Okay, and then we're gonna scroll down right here. So this is where we have our audience controls right here. And first of all, this is where you're going to want to change your actual country targeting right here. So this has the ad set level has all of your different audience controls. So for us, let's say, again, you only operate in one city, you want to add your city there. If you're a D2C brand, e-commerce brand, you sell globally to multiple countries, then I would say to honestly add in all of those like top countries there, which is typically like the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. And then you could also do like some EU countries as well, like some additional EU countries. But for the most part, these countries are pretty solid to add initially here. And then what we can do is go down to the Advantage Plus audience right here. So I'd recommend Advantage Plus. I'd recommend at least testing it for your audience testing. What we're seeing working the best by far with audience targeting is going broad, but giving Facebook a starting point in terms of your actual audience suggestions, right? And so that's what Facebook is pushing right here, as you can see. So what that essentially means is our technology automatically finds your audience. If you share audience suggestions, we'll prioritize audience matching this profile before searching more widely. So if you plug in certain interests, certain lookalikes, etc., then Facebook will essentially prioritize those, but it might expand to all of its data points to find you the best audience based on your desired goal, whether that's a cost per purchase, you want more conversions, more leads, etc. It's going to optimize that based on the goal that you set. So this is the preferred method, right? Is to start right here by adding in these different audiences right here and just kind of letting Facebook do the work. And so stacking these different detailed targeting options right here is what's going to give you the best chance of success. So first of all, right here, you have your custom audiences. So this is where you can plug in your Instagram followers, your Facebook page engagers, your ad engagers, anybody who's visited your website, everything like that. You can plug this into here. And you could also exclude different audiences as well. However, I wouldn't really worry about that. We haven't really seen it's very important these days. I'd let kind of Facebook do its thing. So you have your custom audiences there. You have your age range there. So if you want to adjust that, you easily can. You also have your genders there. So again, you can easily adjust that as well. And then we get into detailed targeting, which is actually where you're going to do the majority of the work here when it comes to audience targeting. So if we go browse right here, you have a couple different options. You have demographics, you have interests, and then you have behaviors. Now, primarily interests is the best one for D2C brands, for broad targeting, for a general mass consumer product. But demographics can be good as well. So demographics, you have things like education level, fields of study, undergrad. You have financial status and income, right? If that's very important. That's only in the US though. You have life events, such as an anniversary, away from family, away from hometown, birthdays, right? This could be a really good campaign if you're doing a birthday sale for people that have a birthday coming up. You can do friends of, long distance friendships, new job, new relationship, newly engaged, etc. Friends of, there's a lot of different categories. Friends of men with a birthday in 1 to 7 days. Friends of men with a birthday in 7 to 30 days, right? Friends have recently moved. And so a lot of different options there. So you can get pretty cool with that. If your product relates to any of those things at all, I'd recommend going through here and just seeing, especially if it's a big life event that people frequently buy from, like if they're newlywed, that means that they usually buy, a new pot set for their home, that they're newly married, right? That might make sense to test that for you. So you also have parents, another big one. You have relationships and you have work. So that's pretty much all the demographic stuff. Again, very, very good targeting there. And I'd recommend testing that out, but I wouldn't try to stack that too much, right? So you always want to keep things separate and only add in a certain number of tests as far as the audience goes, so that if a certain audience works, that you can know that audience works without having all of these different variables in the same ad set. So let's say I wanted to do a demographic campaign, right? And maybe for me, I know that I want to target parents with adult children, right? Like maybe that's the kind of audience I want to go for. So you can see if I add that in, 12 million to 14 million people, and I'm just going to do all for that. And amazing. So, I mean, obviously the age range is going to be, kind of skewed there. So maybe I want to adjust this so that it is 35 to 65 plus in that case. And that's totally acceptable, totally fine. Okay, awesome. So let's say that is my first audience there. What I would do is name this ad set after this audience right here. So parents with adult children. Okay, and then what I would do is just duplicate this. So I'm going to delete this ad right here for now. Duplicate this, and then we can actually add in another audience right here based on what else that we want to target. So if I scroll down right here, we have all the same audience settings, and now we have, again, the same thing that we can now adjust and add in some new audience targeting right here. So if we go back to this, again, if you go browse right here, there's a lot of different interests. And honestly, you could search through these like all day long. There's so many different things right here. Facebook's definitely narrowed it down to less than there used to be, but there's so many different things right here. So what I'd recommend is actually just searching for this. So if you have any interests, like if your customer and your product is related to coffee, right? You could search for coffee right here, right? And then you can see coffee, food, and drink right here. You have coffee houses, coffee bean, coffee culture, lots of different things related to coffee right here, as you can see. So you can easily add those in. There's also like employers and things like that are under demographics, and lots of different things there, right? So for whatever you are doing, right, again, if it's golf, search for golf, scroll through here, and you're going to get a ton of different things, right? And so maybe for you, it's actually disc golf. That's what you want to do, is target disc golf people. And you can see in those areas, 1.6 to 1.9 million people have an interest in that. If you go to suggestions, it's going to suggest to you relevant other interests that are similar to the one that you've selected. So it's a bit of like a cheat code to find additional interest to target right here. So ultimate is similar and related to disc golf. You also have outdoor recreation, the outdoors, team sports, golf equipment, etc. So for this one, I'm just going to leave disc golf. Maybe that's an interest that I also want to target in this case because it's really relevant. So let me go ahead and add that in right there. And then I'm going to quickly duplicate this again and look for another audience here as well. So you can see how easy it is to find additional audiences. You have so much options right here. And this is the strategy that we essentially deploy to find additional audiences and test really quickly. So if you don't have a big budget, what I'd recommend though is just stacking all of these together and just trying to go pretty broad with it and just kind of letting Facebook do its magic. If you are limited and you just have a really clear offer that has a really clear interest, you don't really need to worry. For example, if you did have a coffee brand and you wanted to target coffee, I would just stack all these different coffee interests together right here. So like coffee houses, tea, espresso, green tea, cappuccino, I would just stack all of those together to make this as broad as possible, to make so that your total audience pool is much larger. It gives Facebook as much room and data as possible to work with, and then it can always expand from there too. So again, let's name this one coffee. Maybe this is another audience interest set that I want to target. So now you can see I'm kind of stacking up these that have different interest sets that are all very different to see the difference in results there. And lastly, I'm going to scroll down here, and you do the option to do behavior targeting as well. So if I just exit out all of these, and I go to browse, you can see I have behavior targeting right here. So this also has anniversaries. So anniversary within 61 to 90 days for behaviors itself. Not letting me open that. So you have mobile device by operating systems. So recently detected devices. I've never used that one before, so that one's a little bit different. Consumer classification. So you can actually go like different countries right here. So this is an interesting one. So if you go, for example, the UAE, you can go people who prefer high value goods in the UAE, people who prefer mid and high value goods in the UAE. So it's a little bit of a difference there. Like if you really want to target people who buy high expensive things in the UAE, you could add that right here. That's for 67,000 to 79,000 people. That's how you can target the hyper luxury people, right? So a little bit of an interesting one there. You can also go digital activities. So a new active business in the last 12 months, new active business the last 24 months, or the last 6 months. So that's a pretty interesting one that you could totally look at doing. So that's pretty cool. You have digital activities. So you have Facebook payment users. So this would be people who have used Facebook payments in the last 90 days. So that's pretty cool to target potentially people who have like advertised or have used like Facebook payments at all in the past. And you have page admins, right? So again, this is a common one for targeting like people who have a business, is targeting page admins. You also have internet browsers used. Lots of different things here as well. Small business owners. Yeah, lots of different categories right here. Purchase behavior is another good one. So engaged shoppers, people who frequently buy things. So you have a lot of different behaviors right here to target. If you are a D2C brand, what I'd recommend is, again, just stacking those interests in the actual detailed targeting right here, creating multiple ad sets like this and launching the campaign fairly broad. Once you have enough data, you don't even need to worry about the audience targeting. You can just go broad with your targeting, and that will get you the best results. So as an example right here, this is one of our clients that we're currently advertising for. And you can see we have a lot of different actual ad sets right here. And we have the actual ad set number. So this is the order that we created them in. We have the country targeting. So this is North America. And then we have the interest, right? So we have musician bands plus. So that's kind of a stacked interest. We have broad, which is no targeting. We have 18 plus, and kind of the rest of the fields right here. So you can see this campaign that's doing extremely well, 5.2 ROAS for this actual brand right here, 4.73 ROAS with this one right here that spent quite a bit. If we look at this one and look at the actual targeting right here, we scroll down, we can see that all that we're doing right here is we actually have this audience on, right? We have excluding purchasers in the last 90 days. And then we have United States, Canada, 20 to 65 plus. And then we have this advantage detailed targeting plus with a huge stack of different interests that are related to our actual product. So again, it doesn't need to be super complex here, but if you are a D2C brand with general interest, right, this is an easy way to just stack all these different interests, give Facebook as much room as possible to target and kind of just letting it do its thing. And so that's all that we're doing there. And for placements, we have Advantage Plus placements on. So that's all the placements. And that's an example of how we're advertising and how to actually go about selecting your audience. And one more thing that I wanted to add here as well is, again, there's a lot of different audiences here, but the best way to find them is just searching for one audience that you know is going to work, and then going to suggestions right here, and it's going to recommend to you so many more audiences that you might not have thought of that are also related and similar to that actual interest and audience that you've selected there. So you have unlimited audience ideas right here. As long as you can search for one audience that makes sense for your brand or niche or product or service, right? You can find additional ones, no problem, that also will make sense if there are other interests out there that are similar. So there you have it. That is how to find the best audiences to target on Facebook ads. As you can see, it's pretty simple. You just stack it, just search in the actual ad set itself, right? And use the suggestions feature is probably the best way to find it, as well as the audience insights section with the potential audience. Lots of different ways there, but I hope you did enjoy the video. I hope you use this to find some audiences and get better results with your Facebook ads. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like. It helps my channel grow, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos I'm putting out around digital advertising, using Facebook ads, and more. Also, if you have a D2C brand and you want help growing and scaling your advertising on Facebook, Google, or more, check the link in the description. Apply to work with my team and be happy to chat with you there. Until the next one, have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you soon.